There it is, spinning. All right. All right, let's play the trailer.
Hey guys, thank you for joining us. I want to tell you about Duty. Duty is this larger than life character. His father happens to be the Emperor of Uranus, and his guardian is the general of Uranus's army. Imagine growing up as a kid with the burden of having to live up to those standards. So this is why he's on this journey to Earth. He takes on this mission that's way over his head, but he won't admit defeat, right? He compensates with his bravado and his intellect. So he crash lands on Earth, and now he has to survive Earth's simple creatures, eventually getting into a house where there's a father and son and a dog named Herman, a Chihuahua, who believes that Duty is a talking jalapeno. That's where the real adventure begins. So I hope that you're able to pledge today and embark on this amazing journey. You're gonna love it, you're gonna laugh, you're gonna have fun, and the family will all embrace Duty. I hope that you do too.
Good morning.
Yo.
Good morning, Georgie. What's going on today on the Morning Brew?
On the Morning Brew, we're going to be talking about a lot of things. We're going to be talking about, we got some Alf news for our wrestling fans. We got a little something. We got something about some show called the Cuphead Show. I don't know, you guys might have heard of that. We're going to be talking about public domains. We got a whole lot of stuff to talk about. So check it out.
Check it out. Hello. Good morning. Where's I love that opening.
Yeah, I'm saying that little drip though at the end makes you want to go to the bathroom. I swear to God, it makes you want to go.
Man. That's because you're an old man. You need the pens.
I'm like, oh, damn.
You know what? Yeah,
I gotta go.
I sleep to the sound of thunder and rainstorm. So I have that on my iPad playing all night because it helps me. I'm out and it's rain all night and I'm good.
So you like the sound of water?
I like the sound of water.
You like it. Well, listen, we're a little low energy today. We got to get a little high energy right now because the guys, everybody's waking up with us, and we want to wake them up. I'm almost done with my cup of coffee, but
I made myself a big one. Look at this. It says, "Working hard so my dog can have a better life." See that?
Well, welcome everyone to another exciting episode of the Morning Brew with the Crazee Crew. It is Thursday morning.
Good morning, Aurelis.
Good morning. Thank you for waking up with us. I'm sure you've probably been awake for a while. It's 9:00 in the morning. Here we are, episode number 3.
Yeah, the third one. Wow, look at that. We're making progress.
Man. Yeah.
And I do want to give a special shout out to I should have had it up there, Clarissa. We had a new subscriber to the channel last night. Thank you so much for subscribing.
Yay! Yeah, Clarissa, you get the yay. That's nice. Yeah, no, listen, Clarissa subscribed, and if you guys are watching right now and you haven't done so yet, please subscribe to the channel. Help us get to 1,000 subscribers. We are on the road to 1,000. Hopefully, we'll get there soon. We've been getting, we're getting a little traction. Yes. So subscribe, comment, like the shows, and then just hit that bell. Make sure you hit the bell because that bell will give you like a 30-minute, reminder that we're about to go on right before we go on, so you don't miss any shows. Now, if you don't care for updates like that, then don't hit the bell, but subscribe. So
ring my bell, ring my bell.
Okay, road man. Easy, road boy. Easy. You're excited today because I know we got some Alf news. We got a lot of news. If you guys have been watching the show, you know that Sammy is huge on the Alf train.
Huge. But yeah, I gotta get that screen.
Big fan. Loves that alien, which is why he's perfect for that Alien in My Toilet book that you've got. What's going on with that? Oh, you're going there.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm not going there. I forgot to put the screen up and
Oh, all
segue.
right. All right.
But
So
yeah. So, but before we
go
talk
ahead.
about Alf, there's another alien we want to talk about,
Yeah, but
And look, I love me some Alf, right? So Alf, he matches the color of the color schemes for the morning brew. There goes Alf. Hey Willie. And but we want to talk about Duty. And Duty's in the backdrop. You see him back there hanging out. So we're down to the last 5 days of There's an Alien in My Toilet. And I recently donated to Comic Book for Kids. And then I realized, I think it was Pops Van Zant, who was like, hey, do you have a tier? And then we had a guest on the show who had a tier. And I was like, I didn't, I wasn't up on it soon enough. So there's now a tier and 2 add-ons where the kids can benefit at the hospitals with There's an Alien in My Toilet comic book. So you can either, if you're not interested in the book, but you want to get some books to the kids, There's an Alien in My Toilet is a great book for that, because it's not only fun for all ages, but also there's activities in the back of the book for the kids to enjoy. So there's a tier for 5 books. And in fact, I'll pull that up because that's what we're talking about. So I can show you guys. It's easier to see it. Here we go. Boom. So for $40, the kids will get 5 books plus I throw in a 6 books. So 6 books, and that includes the shipping. That's all inclusive. So all you have to do is just order these books and it goes directly. One of the things that they prefer is that the books go directly to them from the printer because of, COVID and everything else. So everything that gets ordered on for There's an Alien in My Toilet will, whatever the units are, I'll have a separate order that's just going to go directly to them. So it won't be coming to me. I won't be packing it. It'll just go directly to them. But here's a great cause. If you're not interested in all ages books, but you want to do something good for the kids, here's a great way to do that. And then there's, if you already ordered, made a pledge, you can actually add an add-on. So you can actually add a single add-on and send 1 book to Comic Book for Kids, which is right here. So for $8, and there's no additional fee with that $8. It's just that $8. That'll go directly to the kids Comic Book for Kids. You can add that onto your existing tier, or you can do the same thing, add on a $40 tier instead of having to go back and change it and add, your order. You can add on, and that'll go directly to them. So I think this is a great way. When I thought about it, because when Russell had the live show and they were raising money for, there was nothing I wanted to buy when they were raising the money. So I went directly to the website. I made the purchase. They sent me a letter saying, thank you, blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, man, am I too late? I said, I got 5 days. I'm not, in 5 days, if I get 20 books to send to them, that'd be amazing. So here's an opportunity to get to the comics to the kids and spread the word again. And if you're already pledged, but you know somebody who's interested in all age comic books, or you have friends who have kids, or just friends who don't, or who just want to support this, this is a great way to do that as well. So again, we're down to the last 5 days of the campaign. We're at 68 backers. Again, there are a lot of people still watching the campaign and waiting for the last 2 days. So there's still a chance that we can make 150 backers or 5K, whichever comes first, and I will raffle off a Duty action figure, a Duty 6-inch figure. So that'll be amazing. So yeah, so I just wanted to share that with everybody. That's available now on the tier, on the campaign. I will be posting it out today to communicate to the world, and I'll be on 2 shows today. I'll be on Keeping It Geekly at noon, and then I'll be on Indie Vote at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I'll be promoted there as well.
What's the third one?
The Morning Brew.
Okay. All right. Yes. No. Big shout out. Sam mentioned a couple of names. Pops Van Zant. He's got a show that goes. He's got a YouTube channel also. So check him out. Russell Allen is the other name you mentioned.
Explode.
Got a show called Russ Explode. And they do a lot of charity work for the kids. And Comic Book for Kids is a very good organization. Hey, what's up, Dad? So they do a lot of that, giving back to the kids who are in hospitals, who are sick.
And not only that, their generosity goes beyond that, because
but hold on, let me just talk about the kids, like the kids that obviously we're big on comic books for the kids, for children and things that way. And I think this is a good way to give back. Maybe you don't, maybe not monetarily, you're not doing that way, but the books. I mean, I think these comic books are it's something that when a kid opens up a book like this, it could change their mood. You know what I mean? Something like Duty, just rolling down a hill, at the end of the book. It's just something that'll make them smile, make them laugh. Look at even the images around us, like all of these images, just goofy comedy for these kids to just where they are right now, open up that book and say, wow, you know what? And just laugh. And I think that's very important. That's very, very important. So, thank you so much for anybody who does, in fact, pledge. And I think, we're going to continue this throughout our because we do a lot of children's books. So it's gonna be in our future campaigns. I'm going to do that for the Adventures of Wonderduck and everything. So I think it's important. It's important, man. But go ahead, Sam. I'm sorry. What were you going to say? You were going to say something else. Not only that, but what?
But you were saying that. So again, so the kids don't only get a funny comic book that allows them to escape their current situation and just be kids, but they also have 4 pages of fun activities where they can go and play. They got puzzles, they got a maze, they can do all sorts of things with it. So this is a great opportunity to support that. But I do want to say that Russell Allen did this piece. It arrived in the mail, and it says on the back, "To Sam from Russell, keep the faith, good brother."
Give yourself the screen. This is dope.
This is crazy. There you go. Bang.
There you go.
There it is. Everyone likes Super Duty for some reason.
Yeah.
And then Daphne's on the screen. So it arrived, Daphne. So this will be coming with your reward.
That's awesome.
Rodney Fike did this piece, which we raffled off on the live show. Again, I gotta hide this part because it's adult rated.
I was not gonna focus on that so early in the morning.
I was like, dude, really? And so this arrived.
Really?
It arrived also in the mail. So I wanted to shout out to those guys. Again, the generosity goes beyond just supporting kids with comics. These guys didn't have to do that, and they supported. They try to help support the campaign. There's nail in my toilet, my 7 trade duty. Yeah, I know. I know. I can see that guy with a trench coat. And what am I doing? Get back over here. So they were like, we want to support your campaign, and Rodney donated that, out of the kind of his. I mean, that's time taken, So
that was cool, man.
So I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for supporting. There's nail in my toilet, so check out their channels when you get a chance. Russ Explode, and then check out Rodney Fike's art, man. His art's legit.
Yeah, he's amazing, dude. Amazing, and his writing is pretty damn good too. He's got a book that he wrote that I just got. Actually, I just got the PDF. Roadkill. It's awesome book. But yeah, man, there's a lot of and that's what I like about the indies, man. Like, just like there is, nothing is perfect. No industry is perfect. You know what I mean? There's going to be some stuff going on, but for the most part, the support that we've received from a lot of these guys is awesome, and
it's fantastic. It's fantastic, and again, if you're an artist out there, there's still time to get your version of Duty featured in the Nail in My Toilet issue #1. So we've had we've had several. Rodney Fike, we've had
Russell Allen
Allen. We had Rodesco.
Our boy D Wayne.
There you go. I was like Rodesco.
D Wayne, yeah, right. Show, which is his Instagram handle. So check
So show us your version of Duty for an opportunity to feature. But so we have a lot of topics today. We're going to be talking about public domain. We're going to be talking about wrestling. We're going to be talking about ALF. But I want to segue for just a second to talk about Moon Knight. Moon Knight's coming out.
That's right.
And I tell everybody all the time. Back in it was in the early 90s. That's when St. Mark's Comics in the Village was still open before they closed down, right? So I was a security guard. That's how long ago this was. It was the early 90s. I was a security guard. And Robert Garrett, rest in peace. He was operations associate. And that's how we met. So he's like, hey, Sam, St. Mark's is having a midnight sale. Now, mind you, we both work in the city, right? But I live in I lived in Jamaica, Queens, right?
At the time?
And then he lived in, I think, in the Bronx, huh? At that time.
At that time, really?
At that time. And I wasn't married at the time. And that's how far back this goes. Right.
Damn.
And so he's like, hey, Sam, St. Mark's is having a midnight sale. I was like, word? I said, yeah.
Word.
And he goes, let's go. And I was like, I was working the late shift anyway. So I was like, I was getting off at 11 or whatever. It's like, all right, let's go. So we get on the train, we head to St. Mark's. And they got the long boxes and everything's like, cheap, right? So everything was, I think it was like 60% off the list price, right? So this was like $2, right? And so there was 60% off that price, right? So in the long boxes. So, I'm in there digging through the crates, and I pick it up. I was like, and I was a big Stephen Platt fan, right? So I'm like, all right. So I pick up one. Now, mind you, the whole set was there. So this is the Moon Knight collection by Stephen Platt. Never took him out the bag. You
haven't even read them?
Never even read them. Look at that one. Signed by Stephen Platt.
But they were all signed?
Not all of them. Some of them were signed. 1983.
No, I'm saying that you bought them signed though. You didn't.
Yeah, I bought them that way.
Oh, okay. I thought you got them signed like at a convention.
No. Look at that one. Boom. Look at that Moon Knight cover. Boom. With Spider-Man. Spider-Man. Look at that cover. Look at that cover. I gotta put this on the screen. Hold on, real quick. Look at that cover. Look at that. Beautiful.
Death in the Family. Oh, they just jacked the name.
Look at that. Oh, look at that cover. What? So look at that. So 55 through 60, Stephen Platt. And I'm a big fan. The movie's coming out. I looked this up.
That movie, the TV show.
The TV show. I looked this up, and this is worth cheddar.
It's worth cheddar.
Some cheddar. What she say? She says the Bronx in Jamaica, Queens is like living on opposite sides of the planet. It takes just as long to get there. Yeah, I know. Yes, I know. Exactly. You didn't see the Warriors?
Warriors.
They were in Brooklyn to the Bronx, which is even worse because you gotta go to one end to
Brooklyn. Getting to Brooklyn is a mission regardless of where you live. It's just driving out there, just a mission.
Speaking of, so I was excited that I have that. It's coming out. I looked it up. If I get it graded, I can make almost 11 grand for this. If I don't get it graded, I got to see how much I can make for this stuff. But I'm hoping to run into him because I just looked at it. Only a couple of them signed. If I can get him to sign all of them, and then, but so I'm hoping that I see him at a convention one day because he hasn't done comics in a minute. He's working for Gnome. But speaking of Brooklyn, I worked in Brooklyn as a shipping and receiving supervisor, and one day we had that blizzard of the 90s where everything was shut down. It was like 4 feet of snow, so there was no way for me to get home because I lived in Jamaica, Queens. I walked.
Nice.
You know how many hours it took me to get from there? Dude, I had to take Atlantic Avenue all the way down and then switch over to Jamaica Avenue. It was, by the time I got home, I couldn't feel my feet. They were numb. I was like, the runniness from my nose froze on my face.
Dumb style.
It was horrible. It was horrible.
I love it.
I digress.
yes, digress. Let's talk a little bit about. I know you have big news on Alf. Well, I don't know, they're big news, but they're news on Alf. What's the latest on Alf? I know you're a huge fan of Alf. Right. So I know it's a weird segue, but yeah,
two things about Alf. So first off, let's go back to this. All right, here it is. Oh no! Oh, look at that! Wow. Hello. That is pretty nice. In other news, I never even seen that feature.
That's nice.
Hi.
You're scaring me. There you go.
I know. So Alf distribution rights are acquired by Shout Factory, which plans new wave of pop culture content tied to the 1980 sitcom. So Shout, I guess they're a network. They now have the rights to release Alf, and I'm excited about that. This is fantastic.
So they're releasing the show. They're not remaking it. They're just releasing the show itself. Is that what's happening?
Yeah. So the company in partnership with Alien Productions. I gotta contact Alien Productions. Plans to bring Alf titles to digital entertainment platforms in the U.S. Lionsgate, which had previously had the rights, had broken a deal for the sitcom to stream on Fox's ads. The deal announced by Shout, founder CEO, blah blah blah. Alien Productions. Come on, get to the point. Where's the details? I don't want to know about these people. Alf Per the official log line, says I already know that the multi-year teaming provides Shout Factory with a multi-platform streaming service, but the rights to digital broadcast and home entertainment package media, included are the 102 episodes of live action, plus the 26 episodes of Alf the animated series, 21 episodes of Alf Tales, plus the TV movie Project Alf.
Okay, so they have the rights to re-release all of that stuff.
Yes.
Okay, so they're not making anything new. It's
so I'm thinking something's in the works. When someone acquires a license, that means there's something potentially coming. And the reason why I say that is because these bad boys, NECA, are doing the Alf, releasing Alf the 7-inch scaled action figure. So let's open that up. Look at this bad boy with all of the accessories. That's what I want to do with Duty. Look at that. Look at that. It's like
they have different hands. You can take his hands out.
Yes, look out.
Look at the cat sandwich. That's wrong.
That's just messed up.
That's wrong.
It's like
that's just wrong.
No, he's even got a self-portrait.
How do you put? He's got a shirt. All that.
Yes. Gordon sent him into outer space because there ain't no one like you with the Mammakian race. Remember that?
Oh man. Wait, go. There's other pictures in there. What's that? What's the one with him just by himself?
That's him. Look at him. That's him calling Melmac.
Melmac.
Oh, that's foul.
Wrong.
Look at that. Love me some popcorn. Fly.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Yes.
Good stuff for Alf.
I'm excited. Alf. So whenever, I've been talking about Alf all the time. Here's my boy right here. Hold on a second. Here's my boy. There it is. Bum, 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 bum. So, I'm getting the damn figure. I'm going to get two, one I can open and one I can have on the wall.
You want to play with one. I like it.
Yes. Nobody wants to play with me.
I like it.
Again, no one's going to go and acquire a license to something that's been defunct for a while unless there's something in the works. And then you're going to come up with a toy. That means there's something happening. So I guarantee you they announced it at Licensing Expo.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's awesome.
What happens. That's fantastic news.
Nice. Good job, Alf. That's what I'm talking about.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, man. Alf fans.
Hey, Willie!
Big time fan. Oh, man. How big of a fan of wrestling were you growing up?
Growing up, I was a big wrestling fan. I was a big Hulk Hogan fan, Macho Man Randy Savage,
You're the golden age, the golden
Ricky
era.
the Dragon Steamboat, Superfly Jimmy Snuka, the Junkyard Dog. I was into that. I even had the Stretcho wrestlers, the ones that you can stretch and go right back together. Bang. Yes. And I watched the Saturday morning cartoons.
Oh, I remember that, man, with Junkyard Dog and those boys. Yeah, no, that was good. I grew up in that era as well, but I don't know, for some reason my favorite era was the Attitude Era, with Stone Cold Steve Austin, with The Rock, obviously.
I missed that era.
Age. You didn't watch that era?
No. Yeah, I grew out of it.
No, I hear you. Obviously Hulk Hogan, Macho Man, all those guys. When I was a little kid, that was the joint. Yeah, that was the joint. And then I kind of went away from it for a while, right? I kind of stopped watching wrestling. And then I guess it was the mid 90s or whatever it was, or late 90s. Yeah, late 90s, I would say late 90s, early 2000s. I started watching it again. And that's when I was like, The Rock was coming up and Stone Cold. And even like, and for those who are watching, the Hardy Boys were also in that era. These were like these dynamic kids. They were jumping off the top rope. The Hardy Boys, the brothers. Right. Anyway, they're in their mid 40s now. But I think a lot of it is nostalgia with some of these WWE events nowadays. I know when they were doing bad for a while, they would call The Rock to come in and just do a couple of shows and stuff like that. Well, anyway, the Hardy Boys are still in it. Matt Hardy, which is one of the Hardy Boys, went to AEW, which is the competitor, right? He left, he bounced, he went over there. Jeff Hardy stayed in WWE. According to some sources, and I was reading this on Bleeding Cool, he's about to bounce. He's about to leave. He's about to go to AEW, and I think he may be joining his brother, and the Hardy Boys may be back. So for all you fans of the Hardy Boys, they may be back together wrestling again as soon as his non-compete contract expires March 9th. WWE offered him a new contract before Royal Rumble. He said, "Nah, B, I'm good." And they even offered him to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, but he was like, "Nah, I think I'm going to be out." Homeboy gets paid about $2 million. I mean, listen, wrestling's been around for a very long time. And now it's like, it's not just WWE now. Now you got AEW. There's a lot of competitors now, and it's what happens in a lot of industries, right? You can only hold it for so long before, others start coming in, taking the talent. It's almost like what happens in the comic book industry, Marvel, DC. For a long time, it was just them. Then Image comes along, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have Dynamite, Dark Horse. You have all these other companies that now say, hey, you know what? You're not the only game in town.
Right.
And I think that's what we try to do. I mean, for a second, for a second, Crazy Comics was trying to get into that game. And but it's a tough game to play.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, I would like to say we did put some shiver down people's spines, like, oh, who are these guys? Where are they coming from? And then we disappeared. Like, oh,
yeah, because it's hard to maintain that joint.
Yes,
it's hard to maintain it, man. It's hard to maintain it. But yeah, no. So that's a quick, just wrestling, quick something for like all our wrestling fans who are watching out there. What do you guys think about this? Comment below. But yeah, I thought that was interesting. I was a big Hardy Boys fan, so I enjoyed that part of wrestling. But you're right, man. We grew up around the golden age era. That was,
I had a friend named Eddie, and Eddie was a really good wrestler.
Oh, really?
So in the neighborhood, there's always a chance you're going to get into a squabble, and so no one wants to stand up and square off. So one of the things I was known for, and so was he, was taking you down quick and getting you in a position and then saying, give. Because who wants to stand there and square off it and risk getting hit? Because it could just say one lucky hit and you're sleeping.
Bang! Out for the night. Yeah. Out like a light. Hey.
Yeah, and Eddie was gifted. Like, he was fast, and he would get you, he would make you, and he would embarrass you because he put you in a pretzel. So imagine you're a tough guy. And you're like, I'm gonna crush him, right? And you got everyone shouting, and then you come and you wanna, and then Eddie comes over, and next you know you're in some sort of twist, and your body's contorted like a ballet dancer, and then, you know what I mean? And like in a hot second, it was the most fascinating thing to see. I was like, yo, one thing I always told myself, I said, make sure if he and I never let that kid get me down. Because I'd be stuck.
It was trouble.
It'd be over. But yeah. So wrestling, but he was also a big wrestling fan, so he studied it, and he would always, that was one of his things. So I always tell guys, I said, look, if you just a one-trick pony and all you know how to do is box, he's gonna get you.
Yeah. It's funny because I think that's where how MMA became so popular. Because it wasn't just one thing, and boxing lost a lot of freaking fans, bro. Like, I don't know if they lost fans, but it definitely died down a little bit once UFC came out.
But I think it was Floyd Mayweather taking the safe fights. That last fight with Mayweather and De La Hoya, it looked like De La Hoya took loss. I think he took the loss for the sake of money. Because if you watched his fights, all his fights before the Mayweather fight, there was no reason he should have had that. And then De La Hoya, and then Floyd Mayweather running from Pacquiao and waiting till he aged to fight him. That was a punk move. Well, I think what the difference between boxing and UFC is that UFC, whoever is the top contender you're fighting, doesn't matter.
But you know what?
Boxing, they get to pick and choose.
It's true. But this is the thing. I think that, yes, that is true. And I think that a lot of that happens. And for a while, boxing wasn't what boxing is now. Boxing wasn't, let me just take a safe fight. Boxing was, we're gonna go in there, we're gonna do battle, we're gonna knock each other out, and best man standing wins, right? I think UFC is right now in that era where, like, everybody, whoever, I'm just going to take the fight. I don't care about the money. It's about pride, right? Eventually, and I hope it doesn't happen, but I think eventually it probably is going to shift towards that safe fight thing because guys don't want to get hurt. You're making a lot of, it's like, I'll give you a perfect example of that already kind of happening. My man, what's his name? The Irish fighter. What's his name? You know him. He's got the brand.
Conor McGregor?
Whiskey brand. McGregor was a beast, right? As soon as he started making that money, though, things changed. Things changed. And the minute that these guys start making a lot more money than they're making, these fights aren't going to mean as much to them because they're no longer
not hungry anymore. Because now they have something to lose.
Exactly.
They want to enjoy that money.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? That wait, I just grown accustomed to this now. You know, is it worth getting up? You know, this is what happened to Conor. It's exactly what happened. Conor came into the UFC hungry. He was on welfare. He was almost homeless, right? He was living off of biscuits and gravy. And then I remember when that first UFC fight and he got the bonus. He's like, Dana, the 50 G's, baby.
Rocky.
Right? He's like, no, I'm with he's going, he's like, honey, he goes, that's it, whatever you want, right? But you know, and so then what happened was he put it out there, he destroyed everybody. The people feared, he destroyed. And then once he got those $1 million deals and he started getting the pay-per-view points, it was over because now instead of being the first one in the gym, the last one out, now he was waking up later. He didn't want to do cardio. You know, he was like, I'm done. So the trainers would get frustrated because now you know he wants to be in movies. He's got liquor deals.
It's Rocky 3. It's Rocky 3 in real life, and it's the line that Mickey says. One of my favorite lines in the whole Rocky saga is, you know, the worst thing that can happen to a fighter happened to you. You got civilized. That's it. It was a wrap. That's exactly what you're saying. So I mean, I enjoy, I love boxing. I still do. I still like boxing, bro. I'll still watch a good boxing match. At UFC, some of these things, I mean, some of the rivalries in UFC right now are off the chain. So I enjoy watching
the fight this weekend is going to be crazy.
Oh yeah, I'll forget about it. But you know what I mean? But I'm afraid that a lot of those guys are going to start getting civilized and you're going to lose some of that guy. But hopefully the next guy coming up, you know what I mean, keeps that fire. And I think that's what's happening with boxing too right now. They don't really advertise the young kids that are coming up, the good fighters that are coming up, because it's not a money draw yet. So they don't really advertise them, which is kind of silly.
Because they pick and choose instead of it should just be a ranking system and you fight whoever.
Belts.
Belts, everybody has a belt. You get a belt. You get a belt. Like, what the hell? It's like UFC. It just has a weight class division. That's it.
Bro. It's crazy. But look at this. We just went off on a tangent, crazy right now. I don't even know how to bring it back, but
we're gonna bring it back. So what we're gonna do is we're going to play. You know what? You know, Wonderduck is coming up.
Yes,
so we're gonna play the Wonderduck bump, and when we come back, we're gonna talk about public domain.
Let's do it.
Discharged into space, changing the life of one hapless duck and transforming him into a hero called Wonderduck.
You know, when I hear that, I feel like I'm watching the crazy man in a dark room with a lot of smoke, bell bottoms, and a lot of afros and hippies. Everyone's just grooving. It's like,
it is the more. It doesn't. It shouldn't go, but I just love it, dude. Morgan Quaid. Big shout out to Morgan Quaid. He's got a campaign right now called. Damn, Morgan. I'm gonna screw your stuff up. It's something daughters. But anyway, he did the music for this thing, and dude, I just dug it, bro. Shadow's Daughter is the name of his book. I just dug it. I thought it was cool, and then the voice at the end, that Barry White voice in there.
I was like, yo, I swear to you, I felt like I'm in a dark room. There's smoke, there's a bunch of hippies, and everyone's just grooving.
It's like, got nothing to muse, baby. To muse.
It's like, remember, King of New York?
Yes.
Remember, they're all in that building, and all the girls and the guys, and they're just partying. You know, so just change that fast song and slow it down. That same scene, and it's a crazy.
You got that scene. Oh man, funny. Now, but big shout out and guys, if you guys have signed up, please let me know. Make sure you send me a DM because I want to send you guys an exclusive PDF that's only going to be available to everyone who signs up to the campaign right now before it launches. And then if you do pledge when it launches, I will send you a printed copy of said PDF. with your with whatever it is that you chose as a tier. So physical backers only though. So yeah, no, thank you guys for that. Next topic is public domain.
Public domain.
Let's talk about public domains, man.
Yes.
You had a pretty interesting video on Monday on the Craze and 10 or less. For those who don't know, the Craze and 10 or less, make sure you check that out.
Yes, I mean, and when you go to tvtropes.org, a character that nobody owns anymore or was never owned in the first place that everybody wants to take a shot at writing. Under the U.S. law, works for published before 1927 are no longer subject to copyright. Before the 1970s, copyright was not an automatic in the United States and most other countries, and it was possible for a copyright to lapse if not registered or renewed in a timely manner. So certain later works are public domain as well. So, and yeah, we covered that on the Crazy 10 or less, and I was really amazed at how many characters are in the public domain space. Like when you go down here after you read this, like you go, they have it by category: advertising, public domains, comic books. So look at all these. Look at all those: Ace McCoy, Ace of Space, Ace of Powers, the Atomic Thunderbolt, the Banshee. So this goes on forever. So for anybody that's looking to capitalize like they do with Cthulhu, which I used to say Chulu, Cthulhu, you see everyone's capitalizing on that. That's a great way. If you don't have your own IP and you just want to get into the comic sector and recreate something, here's an opportunity to do that.
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, there's a lot of them. And remember, some of these, for example, like, you know, the Shakespeare, all of the Shakespeare stuff is public domain. And it's not just limited to these comics. It's, you know, you have Edgar Allan Poe's stuff. You have, you know, a lot of authors who obviously, you know, passed away, and 70 years after their death, if it hasn't been renewed, then it goes into public domain. It's another one of those things where, like, that's what happens. They don't renew it. You know, they pass away. The author passes away. And 70 years after they're gone, boom, it just goes right into the open domain, which is why a lot of, you know, you see the Draculas, you know, you see Frankenstein, you see all that, like Cthulhu, like you mentioned, is part of that. But look at all these, look at the list, man. This joint is bananas.
Yes, bananas in pajamas are coming down the stairs.
Now, let me ask you a question, Sam. How do you feel? How do you feel about using public domain, I guess, characters in your, you know, for a book? What do you think?
I've never have, right? Because I am a true creator.
Oh boy!
We're going there, getting gully. I never have. Let's see. The problem is, let's see where we got. Where we got
George Peter.
Is you can use these characters, but you can't use the name of the characters on the cover. Oh, that's pretty fascinating.
Interesting.
That's interesting. Welcome, George. That's interesting. See, the conversation came because George was talking about public domain about Winnie the Pooh the other day, and so I looked it up. So I'm not versed in this subject matter, but I noticed that on Kickstarter there's like 50 different campaigns for Cthulhu, right? And I'm like, what is this damn Cthulhu? Because I was ignorant to it. And then I'm like, whoa, what's going on? So then I looked it up. It's part of the public domain. But if that's the case, hold on. And if you are going to make money, the public domain characters are diluted and the money is finite. Copyright and trademark is very different.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. Yes.
Right.
Look at this. We got a scholar in the house. Characters and
all right. So the trademark is different, you're saying. So in other words, the trademark is where the name is, where you hold the name.
Is the branding.
Right.
So you so like, for instance, I see comic books, it says Cthulhu in the Adventures of whatever, or the Adventures of Cthulhu. I guess they can use the title as long as it's a subtitle.
Yeah, and then trademark, you need to own the name of the cover title. So yeah, so it's for the branding. So yeah, so basically so that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
that makes a lot of sense. Yes, thank you, George. See, that's what I'm talking about, man. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining in on the chats and enlightening us with some knowledge, baby. You got some facts. I like it.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, you got Wonder Man, the Wasp. Wow.
The Wasp, really? Didn't know
Yeah,
that.
Super American, Phantom Flyer, Pat Patriot, PP. Yo, I'm gonna do a book called PP. PP.
So you never really thought about doing anything like that.
Never came up, and then, but what's fascinating is that we were talking about Duty's a cosplayer. Like I would never, in my mind, I'm not looking at creating a comic book centered around this, but a spoof where Duty will incorporate like Duty becoming Dracula, like Dracula Duty, right? And so that's different, you know what I'm saying? And but I've never had the interest anytime to do that.
That's why, like even in the cartoons growing up, I remember, I was a huge fan, obviously. It's not no secret. You see Wonderduck, but I was a huge fan of DuckTales. And in DuckTales, a lot of the adventures that they would take, and they would go into these adventures, and they would use some like historical figures or some characters or whatever, and use them, like you said, as spoofs, right? And so I can see that in some of the books. Like you said, I probably wouldn't write a story based around that. As big a fan as I am of Frankenstein, I probably wouldn't use them as a character, like write a story about Frankenstein. But I would totally use them within the book as a parody or as or something to do with that. That character. That's the way I would use it. What was that comment? I didn't get a chance to read.
It said basically like Tarzan. He gave an example. You can use the character, but the trademark, ERB Estates owns the trademark, and they're the ones who can use the title of Tarzan. So you would have to do like the wild adventures of Tarzan instead of using like Tarzan, the title itself. I think you would have to manipulate it somehow, because again, I'm seeing so many different, I guess, remaking of expired copyrights. And that's things I've never even seen.
I see Peacemaker up in there.
Yeah, wow, that's fantastic. That's interesting. But yeah, you can see there's in the B's there's 25. If you go to the A's, I don't know what the hell's that. There you go. I don't know. Whatever. Characters by ability, by alignment, by appearance. Jesus Christ, this is a
man. Listen,
this breaks it down. So if you're really looking to do this and capitalize on it, go for look. Whatever you do, you do. It's not my cup of tea, because we have our own intellectual properties that we're developing, and you can have fun with it. I see Cthulhu is a very profitable brand that everyone's capitalizing on that expired copyright. So do your thing. Whatever floats your boat. You have Grant Larkin who's doing Beowulf. So that's interesting. So he's using Beowulf, the title. Yeah. That's the trademark. So that might be the part that when we were talking to him, what he was concerned about, because he had Beowulf. I wonder if he can use the character, but the title itself he might have a problem with because of the trademark. That was an interesting point you brought up, George. Also, public domain status is not the same across the world.
True.
Yes.
It's
true.
Yeah.
So that's another thing.
You use it in some countries, you can't use it in other countries. Like it could be public domain here, but it may not be public domain in Germany, or it's public domain in Germany, but it's not public domain here. So you'll see some of that happening.
Right, which is I always it's like come up with your own IP and
avoid all it
and avoid the drama down the road, because there's going to be some claim that comes out of nowhere that you weren't prepared for because you didn't do your due diligence. I didn't go in, and I'm not interested in public domain, so I didn't bother wanting.
But see, a story like, for example, there's an alien in my toilet, right? The character of Duty, right? Within the story, he goes into these worlds where he is a samurai, where he is he is the hero in his own story, kind of thing, right? He's delusional like that, where he's like, oh, delusions of power and stuff. So for a character like yours, being able to use a Cthulhu figure within that imagination worked. You know what I mean? It's not, the story isn't, Duty as Duty is Cthulhu versus Duty or something like that. The story is, hey, he got knocked out, he's up, and now he's in this Cthulhu, world where he's the hero.
Right.
Thing. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right. Exactly. Um,
But it's good to know that what you can and cannot use. So you can't trademark a word in the dictionary. So a single word on the cover of a book is safe. Look at this. So you can't trademark a word in the dictionary. So as a single word on the cover of the book is safe. It's funny because a custom word is where the problem exists because the custom word does not exist in the dictionary. Aha. Well, I guess, and I was just going to mention the word superhero. I guess that was a word that Marvel and DC believed they created. I guess, which is why they can only use it in a sense. You know what I'm saying?
ah.
That's interesting. That's interesting. Yeah, no, man, good stuff. Jesus, we're gonna have to have George on the show. We got to ask him questions live. Like, yo, oh man, thank you for being on, being in the chat there, but appreciate you. But yeah, no, it's an interesting topic, man. The public domain it's always fascinating because as creators, sometimes you got to know the rules before you can break them, right? In anything.
Yes.
And knowing the rules of what public domain characters can and cannot be used, how and where they can be used is important when you're doing.
Yeah, I think anytime you're gonna go play in somebody else's sandbox, you need to do your homework, get consultation, make sure that you're protected just as much, because the worst thing you could do is, invest time and money in doing something and you were ill prepared. And then next, there's a claim and someone just says, you know what, cease and desist or whatever it is.
Yeah. For 30 years. These are the minefields to avoid. Yeah, it's so true, man. It's so true.
Yeah, absolutely. It's fascinating. And it's, I see a lot of people doing it, good luck with that. Have fun with it.
There's a lot. I mean, remember we've had a couple of our, just indie creators on our, on our channel. There's been Indiegogos, there's been Kickstarters on all this stuff. I remember Frankenstein. That we interviewed somebody that had a Frankenstein story twist to his stories. I can't remember the name.
There's a lot of I did a lot of What's in the Box where there was a lot of books where it was Frankenstein, Dracula, werewolf.
Huge. The werewolf is huge. Yep.
Everyone's but I mean, I grew up, Abbott and Costello, they had Frankenstein, Dracula, werewolf in the series. I mean, everyone uses those characters, and those characters are public domain.
Right. Yeah. Wait, listen, Winnie the Pooh out there, as long as you don't put the little red shirt on him, Disney's not gonna come after you.
Yeah, Duty the Pooh.
Duty the Pooh. Wow. Wow. The scatological humor continues. Love that word.
That one works. I gotta make it happen.
That one works. Duty the Pooh. Damn. Put little bear ears on him.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah. Well, no, that's an interesting topic. Thank you guys for joining us on it, George. Thank you so much for your input on the topic. What else do you guys think? If you guys want to, leave a comment below, and we could talk a little bit more about that off the air for those who follow the channel.
So, what's on your list for this week?
This week, man, I got to finish up Duty. I'm down to the last, I think, 4 or 5 pages of lettering the book, so that's getting done. I've been working with D Wayne, my boy D Wayne from Right Show, and his book Blood Sable. So gonna finish lettering that. Well, I finished lettering those pages that he sent over to me, and I started working with Sebastian Bonet, who we had on the show yesterday. He's got his own IP that he's not ready to divulge the title of. But I've been working with him on some of those pages. So yeah, I've been busy on my lettering game, man. I've been doing a lot of that stuff. So, it's been great. It's been great. And that's what I've got to do to finish. And obviously, getting everything ready for the Adventures of Wonderduck behind the scenes, as far as the Kickstarter page goes. So yeah, a lot going on, bro. A lot going on. What you got? I'm sure you got like a freaking laundry list of stuff that you got to get done.
Today at 11 a.m. Noon, at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'll be on Keeping It Geekly podcast. And then at 9 p.m., I'll be on Indie Vault promoting There's an Alien in My Toilet on Kickstarter. That's today. After I will be converting this segment right now to audio and uploading that to Podbean so it could be distributed out to all of the audio streaming platforms like iHeartRadio, all that stuff. So I'll be doing that. I will be posting, doing my social media posts for Disneyland in My Toilet today, letting everybody know that that there's a tier where they can actually make a pledge, and the books will go to Comic Books for Kids. So making everybody aware of that. I am going to be working on the variant cover. The variant cover of There's an Alien in My Toilet for issue number 2 for the campaign that's going to launch in June. So I'll be working on that, live streaming. So I'll be going on a few shows for that, live streams for that. So I got that going on. And then I have some other shows this weekend that I'll be on. So it's going to be a busy week.
Yeah, because the last day is Tuesday, right? Last day
Yeah.
for the campaign is on Tuesday. And that night you're going to be on a show with C. Michael Lanning and Stone Abdullah. Big shout out to those two guys. And Randy Zimmerman, I think, is on that show as well. Dispatchers from Outside the Box. So
Right.
that's going to be, and that's on the Raging 2 network. Big shout out to Daphne and Nita Lanning, who, you know, have a show that comes on at 11 today. So if you guys haven't checked that out, you should. Raging 2 over on the Raging 2 network. So yeah, dude, it's busy, man. We're busy. What are you guys doing? Everybody watching. What do you guys got going on? Let us know. Let us know. Can you bring me in for a couple of minutes? Oh, George wants to come in.
Wow. All right. So we are down to the last 10 minutes. Let me see. Where's the invite button?
Let's see. Let's invite him in.
Invite copy.
Look at this live, baby.
Here you go, George.
All right, George. Here you go.
There it is.
Did you just send that out in the chat so that
the whole world
can join?
The whole world's gonna join. I'm like, delete. Where are you coming from? Invasion of the body snatchers.
No.
Yeah, I ain't got time to figure out how to send it.
I ain't got no time for your email address right now.
Yes. There you go.
Text messages.
There you go. Let's see.
Oh, George, what's going on?
Greetings. Long-time listener, you know.
All right.
Well, you know, when you talk about copyright and stuff like that,
Yeah.
it piques my the hair on the back of my neck, so to speak. and you know, it's wonderful that you know, you're talking about the public domain characters that are there.
Yeah.
And because there's a couple of things that people don't appreciate the value of what the world that you live in, comic books, entertainment and movies.
Yeah.
And when they say, you know, it's a culture war, gentlemen, they're talking about you. You are the culture. And I will give you a couple examples about you being the culture. When these guys out there, the politicians and the crazies and all that stuff, the billionaires, all that stuff, the fake news media, they're all doing a culture war. You are the culture. Why? Because the books that you create inspire the next generation of children, which become adults, which become people that work in the business. Star Trek inspired people to become scientists and astronauts. Superman inspired children to become police officers. Right?
Or even, and if you think about it, George, even journalists in some cases, right?
Exactly. Journalists, because of J. Jonah Jameson, because of Jimmy Olsen, because of Lois Lane, right? All this stuff creates the world that we live 20 years later. You know, you have to look at what you create. You become, the moment you publish your book, and it's out there in the world, you have just become immortal. It will live beyond you, because 100 years from now, someone's going to pick up your book and say your name.
Yeah,
they're going to read your story. They're going to say your name. Edgar Rice Burroughs, Tarzan. They own the trademark to the name. They can title anything on the cover Tarzan, but they don't own the character anymore. Wow. So you can do a Tarzan story, and you can say on the cover, the guy in the jungle.
But you can't say Tarzan on the cover.
You can't say Tarzan on the cover because they own the trademark. That's the key. A trademark, as long as they maintain the trademark, it's forever.
Right.
The only thing that can expire is the copyright.
Gotcha. George, thank you so much, man, for those words, man.
And and because we're talking about public domain characters and stuff like that, I got a video to show you, because at 9:00 this Friday on my channel, we're gonna premiere for the first time ever the Captain Marvel 1941 serial, but it's been remastered. Audio's been improved on, the visual effects been improved on. It's been cut into 2-hour movies, and I can show you the video if I can share my screen. You're going to be impressed with this 1 minute before and after take.
Sure, bring it in.
And this goes right to the culture that we're talking about.
George, what's your channel?
George Peter Gatzis.
Okay.
It's same as my name.
All right, guys.
Samuel's your name.
No, same as his name.
Oh, same as man.
I thought he said same as my name too.
George, Samuel, how'd that work?
Let's
play this.
Okay, so if no, you can show our face. You know, it'd be much better to see reactions. So you're going to see original audio and new audio, and before and after. So you just listen carefully, and you'll hear the difference, and you will see the difference.
The wisdom of Solomon, the strength of Hercules, the stamina of Atlas, the power of Zeus, the great courage of Achilles, and the speed of Mercury. You must never call upon this power except in the service of right. To do so would bring the scorpion's curse upon your own head. And now, my son, repeat my name and return to the rescue of your friends.
Shazam!
And now, my son, repeat my name and return to the rescue of your friends.
Shazam!
Lenses be distributed among us. Let another take the scorpion itself. And in that way, the device could never be used without the consent of all.
But what about the scroll? The scorpion is useless without it.
I suggest that Billy Batson be entrusted with the scroll.
Oh, but he's so young, how?
These lenses, I can turn the inside of this mountain into hot, molten rock. No one, not even Captain Marvel, can survive that.
Nice.
Damn, George, great job, man.
I'm not being like over dramatic here. This has never been done before.
No, that looks great. I like the way the mute, like even the sound, dude, like the sound quality changes.
It took a while. I mean, I've been working on it for some time now. The sound, the visuals, the aspect ratio, the lightning effects, and there's lightning effects. There's because he's also has the speed of Mercury. I also have the flash effect, where he's running fast, and you see a trail following him, that kind of stuff. It's been meticulously worked on, and we roast movies. We're gonna be roasting this movie. I remastered it just so we can roast the movie.
Nice.
Oh, George, thank you so much for joining us for a little bit, buddy.
We're gonna definitely schedule you on the Craze show. We'd love to pick your brain and dig into what you're doing. And
absolutely.
Yes. So I'll send you a link after this.
I'm available. My connections are completely open. Just look me up, George Peter Gatzis. You'll find me on Twitter. You'll find me anywhere.
Yeah, I'll send you a link today, and we'll get you squared away to come on the show. It's just fascinating stuff. Thank you for joining us on the morning.
Thank you, guys. It was absolutely an incredible talk about the public domain stuff.
Awesome. And thank you for listening to the show, man. We appreciate you so much.
A long-time listener.
Thank you. Thank you
so much.
Take care.
All right. Yeah,
so that was George. That was pretty nice to have a surprise pop in. A listener who's actually a creative who has a breadth of knowledge on the subject.
Awesome work, dude. Holy cow!
It's a prime opportunity to make fun of El Viejo Medina. Oh
yes, God. You missed it. We gotta go now. It's 10:00. See you next week.
See you next week. What's put on my mic? Stop picking it up. So that was so. Thank you, George. And again, that's pretty fascinating. I like that. I like that idea. If we have a subject matter expert when we're having a conversation, you want to pop in. That might be something we do. So so that's another episode of the Morning Brew.
Yes,
big time. So don't forget. Let me put this up right here. Don't forget, guys, as we're coming to a close, there's what the hell? I had to stream. Boom. There's an alien in my toilet. We're down to the last 5 days. And remember, there is a tier that you can support the comic books for kids, where if you're not interested in the book, but you can make a pledge and the books will go directly to kids that are in a hospital and dealing with cancer. So what a great way to put a smile on their face than with an all ages comedy series that is filled with activities and fun. And so you can add on, if you already made a pledge, you can add on a single book and that'll go directly to them, or you can do the $40 tier. And, that's for 5 books, but I add a 6th book in it. So 6 books total will go directly to Comic Book for Kids. Again, 5 days left on the campaign. And we're still getting ready. We're hoping that we get to raffle off one of the 6-inch figures. So we still have 5 days to do that. So join me at 12 noon at Keeping It Geekly, and at 9 p.m. tonight on Indie Vote, where I'll be talking about Duty and his series. Again, thank you, Daphne, for joining us this morning. Thank you, Aurelis. Thank you, George. Thank you, Krista, for coming in and kicking the door down. I got to get the hinges repaired again. What about you, George?
Hey, listen, guys, if you haven't yet, please subscribe to the pre-launch page for the Adventures of Wonderduck. I'm sure the links are going to be in the show notes. So check that out and join us next week. Tomorrow, we actually have a replay of the live show. If you guys missed it. Oh, thanks, George.
Thank you, George.
If you guys missed the show yesterday, the live show, it's going to replay tomorrow. And then next week and throughout the month, we're going to have some really cool guests on Catch the Craze. Sammy's going to be doing his thing on Monday on the Craze in 10 or Less. So make sure you do that. Subscribe to the channel, help us grow it. And thank you so much again, George, for coming in. And I love that we can just do that on this show, just on the cuff. As long as you don't show anything, that you shouldn't be showing, you're good to come. Georgie was making me a little nervous. I got this video.
I like living on the edge. I was like, let's see what's going to happen.
Let's go.
Roll the dice.
That's it.
Yeah, so we appreciate every one of you. Thank you for joining us on the 3rd episode of the Morning Brew, the new show at 9 a.m. And we hope that you continue to come back every Thursday mornings, and join us Fridays and then Wednesdays and Tuesdays with the live shows. And again, we appreciate every single one of you. With that said, I am Sam the Crazy Man Bear.
George the Dreamer Medina.
And we are out.